Hey everybody, welcome back to Zyre Yoga. I'm Kayla. Thanks for joining me. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of stuff. We're doing some hip strength. If you don't know me personally, you might not know that I had surgery on both of my hips back in 2019. So I'm still struggling a little bit with what I call muscle confusion. I know that muscle confusion is used to describe something else, but sometimes they just don't know what's supposed to work when. So then I end up getting some imbalances and a little bit of pain. So I have to do so much stuff to keep my hips really strong to make sure that the right muscles are working. So I'll have you join me with that today. And then we'll also do a little bit of chest opening. So if you want to just find your way onto your back, that's how we're going to start. Planting both feet down, roll yourself onto the floor, let your knees drop in. Getting nice and comfortable. I like to bring my arms up over my head, but you don't have to do that. And we're just going to start by scanning the body, finding any points of tension and seeing if we can let them relax. So if you're forcing your knees in, just let them be nice and loose. Maybe they don't touch each other. See if you can let your forehead relax and your jaw relax, your tongue loosen your mouth. Just letting your arms be heavy against the floor, your shoulders falling backwards. Letting your belly be soft. We spend so much of our time pulling in through the belly, so just let it be nice and soft, relaxing those muscles for a little bit. Noticing anywhere that you might be having a little bit of pain or a little bit of just extra tightness or soreness, or if you have an injury, and bringing your mind there. Just remind yourself to be kind to that part of your body and to not do anything that doesn't feel good. You're probably watching this at home. There's probably not anybody around that you would care if they saw you doing yoga or skipping half of the class to just take child's pose. So it's okay if you don't want to do some of the things that I suggest. Take a moment to tune into your breath before you start to change it, just noticing the quality of your breath, where the air is going, the length of each inhale and exhale. And then when you're ready for it, you can start to lengthen your breath. So starting out nice and gentle, just sending the air down to your belly. Try to fill all the way up to your collarbones. And then when you exhale, just let your belly drop first. And then as you're here, if it feels good, you can start to expand a little bit more, filling up through your sides, pressing your back into the floor. When you exhale, maybe you want to pull your belly in, pull in through your obliques, pull your diaphragm up, forcing all the air out. You can practice that Ujjayi breath. It sounds a little bit like Darth Vader. It's a textured, maybe ocean-sounding breath in the back of the throat. And just see if you can make your breath a little longer each time. Finding those points of tension in your body and letting them release with your exhale. And we'll take 2 more breaths here. If it feels good for you, just taking your hands to your heart, placing one on top of the other. If you have a mantra or intention already that you like to use, you can bring that into your mind. If you don't have one and you'd like to, just find something, maybe like a long-term goal that you have, or it could be a short-term goal, and just repeating it in your mind as if you're accomplishing it right now. So if maybe, for example, your goal is that you want to move to Spain, you're just repeat it in your mind. I am living in Spain. Seems a little bit silly to fit something like that to repeat it in your mind when it's not the actual reality, but just invoking that goal as if it's accomplished. And then when you're ready, just starting to blink your eyes open. Take your arms down by your sides. We're just going to start with windscreen wipering the knees side to side a little bit. Just noticing any tightness that you might be feeling around those hips. Maybe when the knee comes to the center, you can try to send it down a little further. We'll just take this a couple more times. And then when you're ready, slowly bring yourself back to center. We're going to just bring the feet so that they're the same width as the front of your hip points. Arms down by the sides, lift your chin a little bit. Let's start to roll those hips up off the ground. So squeeze your glutes and tilt your tailbone up towards the ceiling and then roll back down. So you don't have to get really high. And we'll inhale, lengthening up again. Maybe coming a little higher, you can press into those triceps. Lowering back down. Notice if maybe you can feel that your hips are swaying side to side a little bit as you lower. Try to keep both sides, both glutes pulling up so that they're coming up and down evenly. This next time that you have your hips up, let's hold. Squeezing up towards the ceiling. Try to pull your belly in. Maybe you can roll up onto the shoulder blades a little, starting to open up through the chest. Keep the back of your neck lifted from the floor. You're pressing into the back of the shoulders and into the back of the head, not into your neck. When it feels good, we're going to slowly roll the hips back down. Take your left ankle, cross it across your right thigh. Maybe let the knee drop open for a moment. Maybe rotate through your ankle. And then if it feels good, take the hands back down by the side. You're going to press into your right foot. Start to lift the hips up. So now you're just using the one side. Try to let your left knee drop open. As you exhale, lower back down. So make sure you're keeping your gaze up at the ceiling the whole time. You're inhaling to lift. If you need to look, do it as you have your hips lowered. Just keeping that neck safe. A few more times like this, lifting up, squeezing, and lowering back down. The next time you have yourself lifted, maybe you can hold here, maybe you can lift a little bit higher. As you exhale, lower all the way back down. You're going to take your left knee into your chest, extend your right leg long. Taking your hand onto your left shin, we're just going to open that knee out to the side, keeping the heel pulled in towards the booty. Just finding it as far out as feels good. Keep your right hip on the floor. And then when it feels good, take it back to center. You'll take your right ankle across that left thigh. Let the right knee drop out. Rotate the ankle a few times. Notice if you can already feel that there's an imbalance in your hips. Or maybe they feel exactly the same. Hands down by your side. Gaze lifting up. Keeping the gaze at the ceiling. Squeeze the hips up. And then slowly lower back down. Inhale to lift. Squeeze through the glutes. Try to lift that tailbone up towards the ceiling. Lower down. Keep moving with your breath. Let's take 2 more here. Try to keep your navel pulled back. And then on this last one, we'll keep the hips lifted. See if you can let your knee drop out further. Your booty squeezing higher. And then when you're ready, lower it back down. Lengthen the left leg out. Pull the right knee into your chest. If it feels good, take your hand right onto your right shin. And we'll start to bring the knee out to the side. Left hip is staying on the ground. And then we'll come all the way in. Lengthen that leg out. Reach the arms up over the head. Take a long, full breath in. And then as you exhale, soles of the feet are going to come back onto the ground and you're going to roll onto your left side. So we're going to do some clamshells. This is something that people do in Pilates a lot. So you want to keep both hips stacked. So you're not opening towards the ceiling, keeping the hips stacked. We're just going to take 8 of these. So squeeze your glutes to start. Feet are going to press together. Start to open that knee up just as high as you can. So you should really be squeezing in that booty. That's 1. Bring it back down. Squeeze it up for 2. Bring it down. And 3. And 4. 5. 6. 2 more. 7. Keep squeezing your booty forward even when you're not lifting. 8. We're going to hold this one. See if you can lift the legs up a little higher. Holding here. Keep squeezing. And then bring it back down. Press yourself up. Take that right foot flat down onto the ground. Find your way into like a little bit of a twist. We're going to hug the knee in first. Maybe your right hip's lifted off the ground. If it feels good, then you can start to move towards that twist. We're really trying to pull the knee in more than the twist. And then roll yourself down. Swing the legs around. We're going to do the other side. And then we'll start to sort of flow a little bit more. So same as before. You want your hips stacked, not opening the top hip up. Squeeze your glutes first, and then start to open the top knee. 1. Ooh, so this side for me is weak and also really tight, so this is intense. We'll go 2. Squeeze it open. And 3. And 4. Ooh. 5. 6. 2 more. We'll do 7, squeezing, and then we're going to hold this last one. So holding it open, squeeze, see if you can bring the legs up a little bit. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then bring it down. Woo! Left sole of the foot's going to come to the ground. Press yourself up so that you can hug your knee in towards your chest. Stretching the outside of that booty. And then if it feels good, you can find your way into a twist. And then we'll just unwind all the way around. Turn yourself over, find all fours, spread your fingertips wide, start to flow through cat and cow. So chest forward, tailbone up. I like to press into my shins like I'm trying to press my knees away from each other. Exhale, lift the upper back towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach forward again. Exhale, lift. 2 more. Last one here. I'm and we'll find our way back to center. Pull your belly in. We're going to reach the right leg back. Pressing the toes into the floor, press into your hands, stretch through your calf. And then we're going to flow here a little bit. So we're going to lift the heel straight up. Try to keep your inner thigh kind of lifting. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bend the elbows, squeeze that booty up, come back down, place the toes onto the floor, pull the knee of the left leg into the chest. Place it down, lift, maybe tapping your chin, come back up, knee into the chest. Do a couple more like this. So really squeeze that booty. Three more here. Last time. And then come back down. Woo. Maybe circle out the hips, maybe just cat and cow. Slow your breath back down. We still have to do the other side. So your left leg's going to reach back. Toes are pressing into the floor. Start out just with that calf stretch. You're using your hands to press your weight into your heel. And then kind of releasing, lift up through the leg. You want your hip pointing straight down, so you're not opening your hip like this. Straight down. We'll do the same thing we did before. So it's 8 total if you didn't notice last time. So we're going to lift the leg, squeeze the booty, bring your chin down, tap the toes, knee into the chest. Squeeze and lift. Pull the knee in. Squeeze and lift. Pull the knee in. Squeeze and lift. Pulling in. Last time, I think, maybe we did 9. We at least did 8. Bring yourself back down. Whew. Flow everything out here. And then you're just going to bring your knees wide, send your hips back, find your way into a child's pose. On your next inhale, slowly bring yourself back up. Let's tug our toes. We'll find our way to downward facing dog. So keep your knees bent kind of a lot for this first one. You can start to sort of shift your hips side to side and start to straighten one leg while bending the other. Walking the dog. Just feeling how your legs are liking this. And then when you're ready, we're going to walk our hands back to our feet. So walking the hands back. Keep the knees bent as much as you need to. Maybe your hamstrings are tight today. When it feels good, come halfway up, lengthen your spine. Maybe you can get your legs a little bit longer. And exhale to fold back down. Inhale to come halfway up. Exhale to come back down. One more time like this, halfway up. Exhale to fold. And then roll all the way up. Reach to the ceiling. Lengthen really tall. We're going to come up onto our tippy toes. Squeezing through both legs and squeeze up through your glutes. Try to keep the weight on that big toe mound, so not rolling out onto the little toe. On your exhale, slowly come back down onto your heels. Roll all the way down. Walk yourself all the way out. Coming into a plank. Down onto the knees. Shift your hips forward. Keep those elbows in, pointing back. Lower down. Bring the tops of the feet to the ground. Inhale to come up. We'll exhale to come down. Press through all fours and back to downward facing. It's a little bit of a modification of a sun salutation. Paddling out the legs. See if you can maybe get them a little bit longer. And we'll walk the hands back to the feet again. Lift yourself halfway up. Lengthen through your spine. Maybe you can get the legs just a little longer. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, reach all the way up, lifting. Exhale, straight back down. So we're going to do exactly the same thing again. Walk yourself out. Finding your way into your plank. Maybe you want to stay up on the toes this time, but shift your shoulders forward and then come down. Roll the chest up. And exhale your way back through all fours and downward facing dog. When you're ready, walk your hands back towards your feet. We're going to come halfway up, lengthen through your spine, reach your chest forward. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, roll all the way up, lengthening, reach to the ceiling. Slowly come down, find your way into a chair pose. So look down, make sure you can see both feet, and then press into both of them. Don't just press into one. Squeeze up through your glutes, pull your belly in. And then let's try something. We're gonna put our weight into our left leg. Bring the right leg up. We're gonna slowly send it back. Hands down onto the ground. Let's walk ourselves out into a three-legged dog. Squeeze that leg up. On your exhale, pull the knee all the way into the chest, holding here. And then bring your knee across. Reach that foot out. We're going to open our chest, pivoting on the back foot, finding your way into a fallen triangle. On your exhale, we're going to set our hips down. Shift that right arm out a little bit so you're on the hip. We're just going to lift the inner leg of that right leg up and down a couple of times. I know I say a couple of times, but I mean 8. 8. Take your hand back down. Let's slowly find our way back, keeping your right leg there. Try to come onto your left toes, and we'll just stretch the outside of the hip. See if you can lengthen your spine really long. And then we're going to send the leg all the way back into that three-leg dog. Let's keep it lifted as we slowly walk the hands back. As you come back, you can start to bend that right knee. See if you can bring yourself back into your chair. That was fun. Maybe. All right, so when you're ready, holding here. We're going to inhale, lift all the way up, lengthen as tall as you can. As you exhale, hands down to your hips, we're going to step that right foot forward, just halfway up. Pull the left hip forward, pull the belly in, start to lean over your right leg. See if you can reach your chest forward, almost like you're trying to arch your upper back, pulling that left hip forward. When it feels good, pressing into that front foot, come all the way back up. We're going to pull our left knee up into the chest, giving it a hug. Squeeze your right leg up. And then we're going to bring the left ankle across the right thigh and sink down into like a one-leg chair, or figure 4. Noticing how it feels on this side. And then let's see if we can do a couple of squats. So we're going to lengthen up, squeeze, keeping that leg where it is, and sink back down. We're only going to do 4 of these, not 8. Ooh. Try not to lose your balance. Find something to look at, or you can hold on to your wall, a chair, dresser, whatever. One more here. And then we're going to take that left leg out, step it up to the top of the mat. Hands onto your hips, doing the same thing we did on the other side. So starting out, really squeeze that back hip forward, pull your belly in. We're just going to hinge from our hip crease down towards that straight leg. Maybe the side is a little bit tighter. Keep pulling that right hip forward. Only come to where you feel the stretch. Don't get really crazy into it to where you're going to injure your hamstring. So you're going to arch that upper back a little bit, reaching your chest forward. And then we'll press into the front foot, coming back up. Right knee is going to come up into the chest, giving it a hug to start. Really squeeze the glute on your left leg. And then we're going to bring the ankle over, find your way back to that one-leg chair or figure four. And we'll try those 4 squats here. So we're going to lift, squeeze your glutes, and slowly come back down. Lift and squeeze. And come back down. We'll do 2 more. Last time here. And then we're going to take our right foot, cross it over the left, come up onto your tippy toes, spin yourself around. Now you're facing the opposite end of your mat. We'll sink down into chair. Put the weight into your right leg. Left knee is going to come up. And we'll start to send it back. Hands on the ground. We're going to walk ourselves out into that 3-leg dog. Then pull your knee all the way into your chest. Holding here. Maybe you can get the heel a little higher. Shifting your knee across your body. Kick your left foot out. We'll pivot on our right foot, coming up onto the heel. Open up for a fallen triangle. And then sink your weight back down. We'll shift that left arm over just a little bit so that you're out on the hip. Just enough to where you're able to lift that leg and lower. So we'll do 8, so that was 1. Two more here. And then we're going to keep the left leg where it is. Bring your hands down to the ground. Start to pivot so that you can bring your right toes on the ground. Try to lengthen your spine. Feel that stretch outside of the leg. And then let's find our way all the way back to 3-leg dog. And we'll place both feet down. Shift your way forward into a plank. Maybe you want to chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale. Coming down, we're going to stay right here. So we're going to start out with the right leg so that you can see. So your knee is going to come out to the side. Let's see if we can do this. We're going to try to lift that leg up and down. So a lot of the weight's going to be in your arms. Just trying to bring that knee off the ground and lower. Let's see if we can do 2 more. And then we're going to take that same foot, cross it behind the opposite leg, hang out here for a moment. And then we're going to extend the right leg out. Both feet flat down on the ground. You can do whatever you like with the upper body. I like to come up just so I can see, but if it feels better for your low back, you can come down. But we're just going to squeeze that right foot in. Maybe you can lift the thigh off the ground, bring the leg down, reach it back out. Squeeze in, lift, lower, lengthen. Really try to feel that hamstring working as you squeeze that leg in. And that's that muscle on the back of your thigh. I think that's 6, so we'll do 2 more. Last one here. And if it feels good, maybe keeping it in, grabbing your foot and just giving yourself a quad stretch. Squeezing your booty down towards the floor. If it feels all right, you can press your foot into your hand, start to lift your chest up, pull that shoulder forward. Try to let that upper back arch rather than just pulling your shoulder back. And then we'll release down. Maybe rock out through that leg. And then we're going to do the other side. So same thing as before, you're going to start out with your leg out in that, almost like what you would do for cactus arms. I'm just going to move these blocks out of my way. And we're going to try to lift the knee off the ground. So you might find that you're putting a lot of your weight into your arms. That's okay. It's a hard thing to do. So we'll lift, and lower. And lift. Two more. Last one. Bring that ankle across the opposite leg. Just relax here. Hopefully it's not just me finding that to be difficult. All right, so from here, lengthen that leg out. We'll do just like we did before. So you're going to squeeze the heel in towards the booty, and then see if you can lift your thigh off the ground. Lower down and lengthen. So as long as you're feeling that hamstring engaging, it doesn't matter how close your heel gets to your bum. We have 2 more here. On this last one, as you squeeze it in and lift, bring it down. Maybe you want to give yourself that quad stretch. So just pulling your heel in, press your hips down towards the floor. And then if it feels good, maybe you can start to lift up, bringing that chest up, but keep your shoulder forward. Press your hips into the ground. You're trying to squeeze that upper back and open up through your chest, not just yanking your shoulder backward. When it feels good, lower back down. Both legs can come up this time, rocking them side to side. When you're ready, we're going to slowly press ourselves up to all fours, and we're going to sit back on our heels. So hanging out just here, just to start out. Keep your knees towards each other. So I could even turn a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Starting out, clasp your hands behind you. See if you can open your chest. Maybe look up. Keep your belly pulling back so that you're not arching your low back. You're just letting that chest open. And if it feels okay for you, you can bend your elbows a little bit. Maybe reach the arms away. And exhale to let them come back in. Keep pulling your belly in so you're not tilting your pelvis forward. Inhaling and exhaling, even if you're only coming a little bit. If reaching for your hands together doesn't feel great, you can grab opposite elbows or clasp your thumbs together. Just gives you a little bit more space. Let's change the clasping of your hands to the opposite thumbs on top. We'll just do a couple more. Keep pulling in through that belly. And then go ahead and relax there. We're going to take our hands down to the floor behind us if it feels good. Try to tuck your tailbone under so you're pointing it towards the backs of your knees. Open your chest. You can sort of lift here. Squeeze your glutes really hard so that you're maybe getting some stretch through those quads if yours are tight like mine are. If you can come all the way down and lay down, that's fine. If you want to bring your knees together and your heels out so that you're more in like a hero pose than a thunderbolt pose, you can do that. Just find what feels good for you. Keep squeezing the booty. Maybe you can let your head drop back. And then slowly coming back up. You're just going to shift yourself forward so that you're making like this double 90-degree angle. So you have your left leg parallel with whichever side of the mat you're facing. So you don't have to turn to the long side. I just like to turn towards the camera. And then your right leg is behind you. We're just going to do a little bit of hip mobility. So starting out, if it feels okay, palms together, lean a little bit out onto that left leg. We're just going to squeeze the right leg up and back down. Squeezing up and down. Two more. And then coming back to center. Maybe you want to lean towards that leg a little bit. And then we'll come back to center of the body. So if at any time this isn't feeling great on your hips, just don't do it. You can just hang out in whatever pose feels good for you right now because I don't want you to injure your hips. But we're going to put the weight a little bit into that left leg again, but we're going to hover that leg up. We're going to kick it out. See if you can bring it forward. Maybe all the way across. And then all the way back out. Squeeze in. Keep it hovering. Kick. Loop it around. So if you have really tight hips or if you have an impingement, this probably won't feel good. Lengthen out. Bring it around. Out to the side. And squeeze. Lengthen out. And around. All the way back. And squeeze. And then this time we're going to come into a double pigeon. So keeping this left leg where it is, you're going to bring your right leg all the way around so that your ankle is over the knee. You should be able to move your foot around. Adjust through your sitting bones as you need to. If you have a huge gap here like I do, you can take a block and stick it in there, or you can not. And we're just going to hold here. So maybe this feels great. Maybe you don't have a huge gap and you want to lean forward. Maybe you just want to bring your hands behind you like I'm going to. If you have your hands behind you, maybe try to roll those shoulders back. Connecting back with your breath. Maybe connecting back with that mantra. And then just bring that leg down. So that it's directly in front of the left. And we'll just lengthen out through the chest. Try to lean forward. Holding here for a few breaths. And then when you're ready, bringing your hands back, you're going to keep your right leg where it is, and you're going to untuck your left, bring it back behind you. So now you're doing that like double 90-degree angle on the other side. I'm sure this has a name. Don't know what it is. So starting out, we're going to do the same thing as before. So leaning a little bit into that right leg, we're going to try to lift the left leg off the ground. So I don't know why putting my hands together in prayer makes this easier, but that's what I'm going to do. We're going to lift and lower, and we're going to do 8. So lifting up and lower. Further you bring that knee back, the harder it is. I think we have 2 more. 1 more. And then, maybe you want to lean over to that side a little bit. And then when you're ready, we're going to do those, I don't know what to call them, where you sweep the leg around. So coming to the right side just enough that you can lift the leg, kick it, bring it around, all the way back out. Squeeze it in, keep it hovering. Maybe bring it even further behind you to get the glutes a little bit more. Kick, and all the way around. Out to the side, squeeze it in. Kick, and around, out, and squeeze. One more time through the full thing. All the way around, back out, squeeze, and then this time as you bring it around, taking that ankle across, adjust through your sitting bones, through your flesh and your glutes. You should be able to move this top leg. Oh, this side's so tight. This is not even gonna do anything because I have so much space. And I'm feeling this in both legs so much. So just like before, if this knee is close to your ankle and you can lean forward, go for it. I'm going to lean back because this is excruciating. Rolling my shoulders. In fact, I'm going to stick another block under here. So you can do this with books. You don't have to have a block. Roll your shoulders if you're here. Trying to lengthen up through your chest. When you're ready, coming forward, remove whatever you stuck under your body. If you were like, I don't think I have anything. If you have pillows, that works good too. I know it's too late now, but next time. Bringing that ankle just on the floor so it's like a really wide cross leg, and we're just going to lean. Holy moly. Again, maybe bring your mind back into that mantra, whatever it is that you set. Just connecting back, mind, body, breath. When you're ready, coming out of it. Oh my goodness, that was intense. We're going to come down onto our backs. Let your knees start to drop in towards each other. So if you have a block, you can bring one between the knees, letting the knees drop in, holding it there. That feels really nice. If you need a little bit deeper, don't have the block, walk your feet out a little bit wider. The soles of your feet are going to come off the ground, so you're just on the inside edge of your feet, and we'll hang out right there. So you always want your toes and your knees pointing in the same direction. That's why your soles of your feet need to come off the ground. If you like, you can sort of scoot your upper body further away, maybe pressing into that hip crease. Let's just relax here. See if you can allow whatever muscles you feel that are kind of tense and holding your legs here, just to relax so that the knees just, the weight of them against each other is what's holding them up. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And then bringing the soles of the feet onto the ground, knees up to the ceiling. We're going to lengthen our right leg out. Take the left leg, cross the ankle over the right, let your left knee drop out. So if this feels good for you, stay here. If you want, I like to bring my hand into a fist and stick it right underneath that left glute, maybe even finding like where my piriformis is, and then let the knee drop out there. So it's a little bit higher, it has more space to kind of drop open, and then also I'm putting pressure into that pesky piriformis. Let's see if you can just let your low back relax back down towards the floor. Bringing your breath back into that slow, long, smooth inhale and exhale. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And then if it feels good, bring that knee all the way up into your chest. Give it a hug. Pull your belly in. See if you can maybe squeeze it in a little further. And then we'll bring the knee all the way across the body. Find a nice easy twist. Maybe it comes all the way to the floor, maybe not. Maybe you want to kind of pulse here. I like to rock a little bit. Just try to keep your shoulder down towards the ground. And then when you're ready, come back. Lengthen that leg out. We'll bring the right leg across the left thigh and do it all again on the other side. So you can stay right here just with the knee opening. Or you can bring your hand into that fist, bring it right under your booty, and let the knee drop out. Just giving a little bit more space, maybe finding that piriformis and putting some pressure in it so it'll stop being so tight. Stop being engaged all the time. Deep, long breaths here. Try to continue keeping your mind in the present moment, even though we're kind of taking a long break here. We'll take 3 more long breaths. And then once it feels good for you, bring that knee back to center, pull it into your chest. See if you can pull your belly in and bring the knee a little higher. And then slowly just bring the knee over the body. Finding yourself into that twist just like before. You can kind of rock a little here. And then slowly bring yourself back into center. Both knees into the chest. Maybe like happy baby, you want to bring the knees out towards the underarms and grab hold of the feet. Bring the soles of the feet up to the ceiling. I'm not liking that today, so I'm going to make some big circles. Maybe just holding on to the outside of my thighs. Coming one way and the other. So whatever last kind of movement you like. And then we'll bring everything in. Give yourself a nice tight hug. Long, deep inhale. Fill yourself up. Squeeze everything. And as you exhale, just release yourself down. Find where you want to be for your Shavasana. If you like a long one, go ahead and just turn me off now. If you'd like to do it a little bit shorter, we'll just take 10 really long, really smooth, deep inhales and exhales. try to let your body relax a little bit more each time. And when you're ready, you can begin to bring some small movements back into your body. And just making them a little bigger, reawakening through your limbs. Reach the arms above your head, lengthen yourself really long. And then bend one knee at a time and roll off onto one side using your bottom arm as a pillow. You can begin to blink your eyes open while you're here, just readjusting to the light in the room. And then eventually pressing yourself up. Find your way into a nice, comfortable seated position. Just taking a moment here, hands on your knees, let your palms face up, receiving, releasing the shoulders down. Letting your gaze be soft. Just noticing if you feel any different now than you did at the beginning of class. Bring our hands together at our heart center, giving gratitude to our body. And maybe tuning back into that mantra or that intention that you set. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked that, go ahead and share it or subscribe if you're not subscribed. And yeah, leave a comment, send me an email, go find me on Facebook. You can join me for live classes, and I'll see you all later.